Do you love chips, but you don't love what those crunchy snacks do to your blood sugar? Then stay tuned because I'm revealing the best low-carb chips to satisfy your cravings without sending your blood sugar soaring. Hey, I'm Erin with Healthy Mom, Happy Family, and today I wanted to address something about a snack that I absolutely love, and I'm pretty sure you love too: chips. Traditional chips tend to be high in refined carbohydrates, and they can cause your blood sugar to spike. And as a dietitian, I get asked by my clients so many times, are there chips that I can eat if I'm living with type 2 diabetes that won't spike my blood sugar? And the answer is that there absolutely are chips that are out there and are nutritious and are safe to eat every day for blood sugar balance. So today I wanted to really cut through the noise, answer your questions about chips and blood sugar, and share with you the best low-carb chip brands that you can enjoy for better blood sugar balance. Now, before we dive in and I share with you all of my favorite brands, I just want to remind you that if you are living with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes and you want tips and tricks and recipes, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. And also, if you are ready to learn how to manage your blood sugar and reverse insulin resistance, I would love to invite you to join my Blood Sugar Fix program. In a few short weeks, I will walk you through everything you need to know about blood sugar balance so you can feel your best for life. All right, so are you ready to learn about the best brands of chips for blood sugar? Then let's dive in. All right, so first let's talk about what low-carb chips even are. So today I'm gonna share with you my favorite brands of low-carb chips, but I wanted to answer a question that I hear all of the time. And it really is, what are low-carb chips? Are they some kind of different ingredient? Is it something I have to worry about? And there isn't really a definition for low-carb chips. Low-carb chips can be made from a variety of different foods, and there's a lot of different brands out there. So what I want to share with you today is a variety of the best low-carb chips, the ones I think taste the best, but you're going to see that they are made from different ingredients, and some you might love and some you might not feel as good about. So I'm going to give you a nice comprehensive list so you can find the ones that you love the best for your taste preferences. Now, as a general rule of thumb, every brand of low-carb chip I'm going to recommend today is going to have less than 10 grams of net carb. So the way we figure out net carbs is if you look at the total carbohydrates on the nutrition facts panel on the food label, and you look at the fiber, you can subtract the fiber out from the total carbs. That's because fiber is a carbohydrate, but it doesn't have impact on your blood sugar. Now you'll see a lot of the lower carb chips have different ingredients like chickpeas, lentils, beans, soy, nuts, coconut, seeds, even cheese. There's going to be some of the chips, even chicken chips. There's going to be chips that incorporate a couple of these ingredients or all of them. Most of them look and taste just like traditional chips made from potato or grain flour, but they do have the fewer carbs. What I like about a lot of these low-carb chips is you will find they actually have more protein and more fiber, which means less impact on blood sugar, but also a much more filling snack. All right, so let's dive in and look at my favorite brands of low-carb chips, why they work for blood sugar balance, and where you can get them. And hopefully you will love these just as much as I do. Okay, so first on our list are the Quest tortilla style protein chips. Now these tortilla chips only have 3 grams of net carb. That is a big difference than traditional tortilla chips, which typically have 20 grams of carb per serving or more. Now, what makes these the perfect low-carb substitute for tortilla chips is they have the same crunch, they have the same look, they're just as satisfying, but they have significantly fewer carbohydrate, which means that you can eat them and enjoy them without worrying about your blood sugar spiking. But another thing I love about these chips is they have 20 grams of protein per serving. That is a lot of protein, and you don't usually find any protein in tortilla chips, so they're going to be much more filling as well. All right, so next up, let's talk about the Huevos protein chips. Now, these have 5 grams of net carbs, and typically I would be skeptical of a chip that says it's made from egg whites. I wouldn't really be sure of the taste, but these are really good. These taste really good. 8 grams of protein per serving too, and they also have 4 grams of fiber. So a really great balance, the protein and fiber. Very little fat too, because it's just made from egg white. Great way to get more protein into your diet. And this works if you're following a diabetes management meal plan, a keto diet. This is a great option. All right, now let's look at the wild protein chips. And if you have not seen these yet, you are missing out. I love these. They are delicious. They only have 5 grams of net carb. And so when you're in the mood for a chip and you want something pretty similar to a classic potato chip, this is a really great alternative. Now, what's really cool about the wild protein chips is what they are made from. They're pretty much, when you try the taste and the look, it's pretty like as close to a traditional potato chip as you can get for a low carb variety. But these are actually made from chicken breast. So you don't always think about chicken being made into a chip, right? But that means that it's going to have protein, it's going to have fiber, has a little bit of fat, really great balance for blood sugar, really delicious, and something you can feel good about eating. So if you love chicken breast, you love potato chips, this is a great option. All right, so now let's look at the High-Low Life Low Carb Almond Flour Nacho Cheese Tortilla Chips. So this is a great option for my tortilla chip lovers out there who also love a little bit of a cheese flavor. There's only 3 grams of net carbs per serving in these chips. Now, I love this because I'm, guilty of being a big Dorito fan here. And so with Doritos, we know, occasionally they're fine, but they're not going to be low carb. They're not going to be the best choice for our blood sugar. This is a really great alternative, and they're made with almond flour, so they're really crispy. They still have that bold nacho flavor, but you don't have to worry about the refined grams of carbohydrate. Now, these do have fats in them, but the fat is coming from monounsaturated fat. You're getting 7 grams of monounsaturated fat, which is what we consider that heart-healthy unsaturated fat. So it's a good for you fat. It's coming from the almonds. Fat also is much more filling, so when you combine the protein, the fat, and the fiber in these chips, they will sustain you for a much longer period of time than a traditional tortilla chip would. Now let's look at the Beyond Chips low carb tortilla chips. So you can see there's a lot of tortilla chip options, which is great if you want to snack on them alone or have them with salsa or make nachos, lots of options. These are really one of the lowest on the list. They only have 2 grams of net carb per serving. So this is a great choice if you want to sit down and snack on a little bit of salsa or some guacamole. The Beyond Chips low carb tortilla chips are really great for that. You can just use them, to dip and bite, and you don't have to worry about the portion size as much with spiking blood sugar. Now these are really neat because they're made of a mix of seeds and pea protein. So you're getting 13 grams of protein per serving with only those 2 grams of net carb. So really sturdy, really crunchy, really satisfying. And it's a great way to snack and know you're getting in more fiber, more protein, the things our body needs anyway, while keeping our blood sugar steady. All right, so where are my coconut fans at? Because the Dang lightly salted coconut chips are a really great choice when it comes to low carb chips. These have 5 grams of net carb per serving, and they're a really great energizing low carb snack. I love these on the go. They have that great flavor, 6 grams of fiber, and there's no added sugar. Now, they're made with just coconut and a little bit of sea salt. So if you don't love coconut, there is a bit of a coconut flavor, but it's still a really great chip choice. A lot of people love coconut, which is great, and this fits right in with that. And now, you will find that they're higher in calorie and saturated fat because it is coming from coconut. But coconut, even though it has saturated fat, it's still a plant. It's still giving you plant-based fats. So not all of the fat in coconut is an inflammatory fat. So this is a fat I wouldn't worry about as much, but I do want you to remember that with this, because it is slightly higher in calories, you do have to be mindful of your portions, especially if you're focusing on weight management as well. So these chips will not impact blood sugar in the same way a traditional chip would, but you do want to be mindful of the portion size because they are a little bit higher in fat and calories than some of the other options on this list. Now, taking it to a whole different area, let's talk about seaweed. The Gimme Organic Roasted Seaweed Sheets are a really great chip option. They're very light and airy and crunchy. Now, these have 0 grams of net carb. So there's no net carb at all, has no impact on blood sugar, great for diabetes meal plan, great for keto diets. It's also one of the lowest calorie options on this list too. So it's really roasted seaweed. And seaweed is rich in fiber, it's rich in antioxidants, but it does have a bit of a seaweed taste. So it really depends on your preferences. To me, I really enjoy it because it's very light and airy, like a light cracker. It's a little salty. So I find them very enjoyable, but it also isn't going to be the most appealing to everyone if they don't care for that saltier taste. So just know your own flavor profile preferences and see what you like. But these are an excellent choice if you're looking for low carb as well as low calorie. Now, sticking with the whole idea of green chips, the Rhythm Superfood Kale Chips are another great option. They only have 3 grams of net carb per serving. Now, these are very similar to if you made kale chips at home, and I love kale chips, but I have to be honest, I don't always have time to make kale chips at home, or if I make a batch, I don't find that they keep as well. Even if I keep them in an airtight container, they don't stay as crispy as long. So I prefer to get this brand, keep it in the house, because the kale is a superfood, right? It has a lot of compounds that fight inflammation. It's very beneficial, it gives us more antioxidants, but you're also finding with these chips, they're low in carb, they're higher in fiber, so they're going to be great for blood sugar balance. Really easy way to get a little bit more veggie into your diet and still eating chips as a snack. Now, another one of my favorites on the low carb chip list are Wisps. Now, Wisps garlic and herb cheese and nut crisps are a really, really great option. They have a whole variety with Wisps. You can get ones that are just cheese, but also the cheese and nut crisps, I really like how crunchy they are and a little bit more chip-like. They only have 3 grams of net carb per serving, and this is a really, really great option when you are looking to incorporate either a keto chip or just have something that has more protein and lower carb but gives you that crunch that you need when you're craving a chip. So this is definitely for cheese lovers. I love them. I think they're salty and savory and kind of addicting. They have a blend of the Parmesan cheese, almonds, cashews, pistachios, pecans, they're all blended together. So they are much more filling than a potato chip would be. They have the protein, they have the fiber. The only thing with these is they're not quite as low calorie as some of the others on the list. So again, we want to watch portions. I find them a little challenging to not eat the whole bag, even though there's multiple servings in a bag, just because they're so good. So I would recommend that if you're opening the bag, you take them, portion them into a bowl. Don't sit down with the bag because it is hard to stop with these, but a really, really great choice for a low carb chip. Another great option when we're thinking about cheese crisps are the Parm Crisp cheese crisps. These have 0 grams of net carb. They are basically made just from Parmesan cheese. So you're having no carbs in these whatsoever. But unlike when we looked at the seaweed crisps that are no carb whatsoever and are very low calorie, these are going to be higher in fat and calories just because they're made from cheese. So they're still considered diabetes friendly, they're still keto friendly, but just keep in mind that they have a good source of protein, which is great and keeps you full, and they're light and they're crispy, but they also do have some saturated fat and are a little bit higher on the calorie scale. So just watch the portion size here. But I find these to be a really delicious chip option. So those are some of my favorite brands of low carb chips out there. And I just want to give you a few notes when you are looking for low carb chips yourself. Use this list. I'm going to link to it below. You can print it out, bring it with you to the grocery store to find these brands. But if you are going to the store and looking for your own varieties of low carb chips, few things to keep in mind. Number one, just remember the front of the package is marketing, but there's not really regulation to what it says on the front of the package. So you always want to turn that package over, look at the nutrition facts information to see what's truly in that food. First thing you always want to look at is the serving size, because everything on the nutrition facts panel is based on 1 serving. So if you are going to eat multiple servings, you need to double or triple or quadruple what's on that nutrition facts label. When you look for a low carb chip, remember that protein, fat, and fiber help to keep blood sugar balanced and also help you to stay more satisfied after eating. So look for chips not only low in carbohydrate, but also chips that provide protein or provide a good source of fiber or provide more of those healthy unsaturated fats, which are going to help with blood sugar balance too. And remember, when you're looking at the carbohydrate, the total carbohydrate fiber is listed underneath. It's included in that total number. So if a chip is very high in fiber, the total carbs might look higher, but we're not having an impact on our blood sugar from the fiber. So you can subtract the fiber out of the total carbs. That gives us what's known as net carbs, and that gives you a better guide to understanding how much of an impact that chip is going to have on your blood sugar. And the last thing you want to pay attention to on the label is sodium. Regular potato chips, just to kind of give you an average, they have about 170 milligrams of sodium per serving, which is not high, for a snack. It's moderate, but we want to keep our sodium to the day to about 2,300 milligrams a day or less. Too much sodium in the diet can elevate blood pressure, can cause water retention, and it can even impact bone density. So we don't want too much sodium. You will find with lower carb chips, depending on which ones you're looking at, some have more sodium than traditional chips and some don't. So look at the sodium and just remember, if it is higher, it doesn't mean you can't have it, but make sure to balance out your sodium the rest of the day so you don't exceed that 2,300 milligrams of sodium recommendation per day. And then, of course, the other things you want to look at are taste. Not all low carb chips are the same. I love everything on this list, but I will tell you that everyone has different flavor profiles. So you might love a cheese crisp and not love a seaweed chip, and that's okay. And someone else might, like it in the opposite direction. So make sure you're not just eating it based on the carbohydrate content, but also that it's flavorful and you enjoy it, because you're not going to feel satisfied if you're eating something that you don't enjoy. So make sure it's a taste that you also love. And also make sure it fits within your budget. A lot of these lower carb chips, like the cheese crisps and the kale chips, they do have a price point because they're being made, it's the convenience. So some of these you can still make on your own if you want to save money, depending on your grocery budget, and then just intermittently buy the brands when you have the budget to do so. But you don't have to buy low carb chips either. You can still have traditional chips if that's what fits your budget, and just monitor the portion size and remember to combine them with more protein, fat, and fiber. All right, now if you are looking to purchase any of the chips that are on this list, I'm linking it to below so you can see directly where to bring it. You can print off the list to go to the store with, but I also have direct links to purchase any of these online from places like Amazon or Walmart, so you can check that out below. All right, so the bottom line when it comes to low carb chips to help manage diabetes and manage blood sugar is to remember that there are incredible options out there, and the list is really growing every day. Every day, new low carb chips are popping up. So there are a lot of brands to choose from, but you have to make sure to read those labels and choose the brand that meets your taste preference as well as your dietary needs. If you have a question about any of these brands or a brand I didn't mention, comment below. I would love to answer it for you and I'd love to check it out. And I'd also love to hear from you and see what on this list is your favorite. Now, if you liked today's video, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss new tips, tricks, and recipes. Thanks so much for being here.